Josh.
Hey, Josh.
How are you?
Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Okay, I got 5:15, how about you?
Yep.
Okay,
I
go ahead
think we're
and
good to
call
go.
the January Board of the Aviation Commissioners meeting to order. And the first on the agenda is to approve the December minutes. You all should have had those to review.
And I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And I will second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so moved. All right, claims. Nick, anything notable?
Yeah, as you guys will see, we've got two different lists for you guys to go through because we canceled last month's meeting. Postponed. The big ones that you guys will see there, DBT transportation, that is our instrument landing system and automated weather system contract that you guys approved at the last meeting. They got us the invoice for that. And then the Fendon Brown invoice for $79,952.25 was for the the pavement repair on Taxiway Bravo, Taxiway Alpha on our east-west runway. Outside of that, it was a pretty quiet couple months. And then you guys will have a special claim for Ascent Aviation Group totaling $37,764.84. So unless you guys have specific questions that I can answer.
I have none.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the claims as presented, especially the one for Ascent Aviation for $37,764.84.
Was that load of Jet A?
A couple, was 3 loads? I think that was 3, maybe even 4 loads.
It was 1 load of 100 low lead and then 1 of Jet A.
There you go.
I second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any more questions?
27.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, recognition of visitors. Basically, I don't know who's online, but if you're online, welcome. And then engineers report. Mary, you are on.
Alrighty, I will share my screen. Hold on 1 second. Is that big enough for everyone to see? Can you all see that okay?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we're good.
Okay. I don't know if that may help a little too. Okay, first up is runway 1836 rehabilitation project. We have a change order in the amount of $107,567.90. This is an increase to the contract amount. If you remember, past couple months we have discussed the cement stabilization that was approved with a previous change order required for the subgrade on the runway. And this is the final balancing change order, and that dollar amount was right around 100,000. So a good portion of this increase is due to the addition of that cement stabilization that was added to the project. Is the final balancing change order with the exception of the final quantities for paint. In the springtime, there will be a full application of paint placed on the runway. Currently, if you were to go out and go out on the runway at nighttime, there are no glass beads in the paint, so it is a little bit harder to see. But in the springtime, we will be putting that full application. And it just, normally when you put the first half application of paint down, you wait 30 days to let that paint cure. And then you put the full application in, and we were just too compressed with not warm enough for us to get that full application in. So that's why it's being pushed to springtime. So it will need a board action on that change order. It is an increase, but we do anticipate those funds being approved by the FAA with a grant amendment. Normally with the amendment, the FAA for 90%. NDOT does not participate. Plans, that would mean that Warsaw would have to cover the remaining 10%. Last year was a very unique year with the CARES Act, and we have actually reached out to the FAA to try to understand if an amendment for this grant would be covered 100% by the FAA, or if it would still require just 10% at an airport. We have not heard back yet on that, but as I mentioned previously, we do have some upcoming meetings with the FAA so we'll get a response on that. Any questions on the change order? I pulled up if anyone would like to see, or
So we have one or two things that
Just
we have to
this-
approve.
this is just one change order.
So that,
Just
yeah.
the
So the first action would be approval of change order
three,
three
right.
in the amount of $107,567.90.
Okay.
For Finn and Brown.
Right.
Correct. And that is to cut, as Mary said, that is to cover the cement stabilization of that soft ground that we found.
Right. Now, does the state pay any of this?
No.
They will not for the grant amendments.
They won't for the
No.
grant amendment, okay.
And that's what, go ahead, Mary.
So currently, and this is a very unique project. Normally, the way that the grants are broken up that you all are aware of is 90% from the FAA, 5% from NDOT, and 5% locally. With the CARES Act last year, FAA said, okay, instead of doing the normal 90%, 5%, and 5%, we're gonna cover the full 100% of the project. So what we are uncertain of is how an amendment works with that, with the CARES Act.
I move that we approve change order number 3 for $107,567.90 for Finn and Brown's contract.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve change order number 3 for the amount of $107,567.90. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, what else, Mary?
The next item with the runway is our invoice. I apologize, I obviously didn't change this. This is invoice number 2, not number 1. I apologize for that typo. But it is for $72,920.50. And this covers construction administration and construction inspection services, and it is also a federal grant, and it's within the budget for the contract.
I move we approve invoice number 1 for CHA in the amount of
Number
70.
2. It's really number
Number 2. That's
Oh,
a
I'm
typo.
sorry. Okay, number 2, in the amount of $72,920.54.
And I second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we approve CHA's invoice number 2 for the amount of $72,920.54. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Next up is the construction mitigation. As we talked earlier, we are working with the FAA on finalizing everything for the grant application. Nick, I don't know if you want to give an update on TAFLA.
There were some staffing changes at the end of last year, so we are still working through some of that. We don't have an update at this time, but hopefully by next month, we will have a better update for the board.
And then, as mentioned previously, we are still holding our bi-weekly meetings with the FAA and want to, our next meeting for that is next Thursday. Next up is the hangar door, and not much has been going on with that. We are just awaiting design documents from Robinson Construction, but we do have an invoice number 2 needs approval of $5,305.09. And again, this is within the $30,000 budget this past.
I make a motion for the, what is that, order number 3?
Invoice 2, task order
On
number
the
3.
hangar door replacement in the amount of $5,305.09 out of a budget of $30,000.
And I will second that since we have a little bit of maybe a
Conflict.
conflict there, so
This goes to CHA, so there's no conflict with this.
I don't want a perception of
Yeah.
conflict.
Right.
Got it.
So it's been moved and seconded that we approve CHA's invoice number 3, correct?
2.
For the amount of $5,305.09. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved.
Now, in regards to that, the door is ordered and the steel building is ordered. I am waiting design data, dimensions, and information from both companies.
Okay. Yeah.
Could I get just a little bit of an idea, a rough idea of when you anticipate construction starting and being completed? Just
Physically starting?
Yeah.
It's going to be a while yet because until I get that information, I can't prepare the documents for the state submittal. So I haven't even submitted for the state permit yet.
I mean, are we looking at this door being done somewhere by June?
That's my goal, but the steel delivery is minimum 12 weeks. So it's going to be tight, and they're not promising me that. That's what they're telling me the minimum is.
We've been keeping
Mhm.
ZB up to date on that.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I even had a call directly from one of their people the other day asking about it, so.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
And the only other update I have is for the capital improvement plan. This is the meeting that I mentioned that will be occurring next Tuesday that Nick and I will be a part of with the FAA. So we should have more of an update on that next month.
Okay.
And that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions for me.
Okay, any questions for Mary?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary.
No, I'm
Appreciate
trying to
it.
get her the information that she's wanting, that we both need.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Nick, manager's report.
Well, we will start off with the fuel usage report for 2020. As you guys can see, we actually beat my estimate. I thought we were going to end the year at about 155,000 gallons of jet fuel sold, and we actually passed that. We went up to 161.13 for the year. So we were 11,013 gallons over what I thought we would end at. I thought we'd be right around that 150 mark. So all of that being said, we were still down in total revenue about $80,000, almost exactly, when you compare it to the 2019 revenues. To put that in comparison, I had done just some rough numbers as best I could with the different fuel pricing structures that we had updated. If we had had an identical year to 2019 as far as fuel sales with gallon amounts sold comparative year to year, we would have made an additional $315,000 in revenue for that fuel. So that's one of those areas where COVID really hit hard. A lot of the flights canceled. Most corporate companies shut down their flight departments company-wide. There was no travel at all, and that was not just at Warsaw. That was nationwide that has hit. So I don't know what to predict for 2021. I have no idea how our fuel is looking for this year, but it's something that we are watching very closely. The thing that I am actually watching the closest right now is what's happening with this polar vortex. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but the polar vortex is currently in the middle of potentially splitting over the next week and a half, which could plunge us into some frigid temperatures by the end of January, beginning of February, -20, -30 potentially. So I'm hoping that we don't get that cold of weather, but we are watching that very closely just to prepare our equipment, make sure that we are ready. We have the appropriate runway de-icing equipment that we will need, aircraft de-icing fluid as well, just in the chance that we do see those frigid temperatures like we did a few years back. Any questions, though, on the income statement, fuel report, anything like that I can answer or entertain for the board? Otherwise, I have a quick request for the board pertaining to fuel. Thank you. If no questions, I would like the board's approval to enter into agreement with World Fuel Services. World Fuel Services is our current fuel provider, and they have a program called Contract Fuel. What it does is it allows us to fill out a document with World Fuel and tell them what our FBO name is, our airport identifier, all of that. And then through World Fuel, we can set up what's called an into-plane rate. So our cost of fuel plus taxes plus we can put in whatever margin we would like. And then if a customer flies into Warsaw and is a World Fuel client, we don't have to run credit cards, we don't have to run invoices. World Fuel processes all of that, and then they deposit the amount of money that customer purchased in fuel directly into our bank account, just like a credit card would, except we don't have to pay any credit card processing fees. To put this in example, if we sell, 2,200 gallons of fuel at $3 a gallon, we could see almost $9,000, $10,000 in an invoice. And if you're paying 2.5% to 4% processing fee, multi-service is pretty high. American Express has a pretty high processing fee. We're losing several $100s on each one of those invoices. This would eliminate that completely, and it would allow us to keep our same margins that we already have in our fuel pricing structure. We would just be directly deposited that money from World Fuel Services for their customers. So it will allow us to save some money on the back house of side of things by not having those overhead costs with the processing fees. It also will allow us to get if a customer has an account with us currently, they can choose to sign up through this program through World Fuel, And instead of waiting until the end of the month or the first week or the second week of the month to receive a check or a payment from that customer, it's, the invoice is paid for that night at midnight when the day closes with World Fuel. They just auto deposit that money into our bank account, and then they go and invoice the customer at the end of the month. So it saves us money, it puts the money in our bank faster. It's a company we've been working with for 32 years, and so we've got a great working relationship with them. And I think it would just be a really good way to potentially save a little bit more money moving into 2021 with this contract fuel program.
So would we be asking all of our clients to join this organization, this?
A lot of our corporate clients already are
There.
members.
Okay,
Zimmer Biomed is a member, Johnson & Johnson is a member. I don't know if Imager is a member or not. I know NetJets is a member, so a lot of our transient clients that do pay with those high interest rate credit card, or I shouldn't say interest rate, those high
High fee.
percentage rate credit cards. Multi-service is what, 3.5%? 2.5%? Okay. No, Amex is 3.5%, isn't it? But there's a couple of them that are well over 3%, and that just eats into our profit margins.
Right.
And so to eliminate that and get our money that much faster, it's really a win-win for the airport.
yeah.
But our people are still fueling the plane.
Correct. It's still us. And then this is the form, so whenever if the board decides, hey, we want to change the margin for this customer or this type of fuel, all I have to do is fill out this form and email it to their sales team, and it's updated just that quick. So it's just like what we're doing now, it's just cutting out that credit card processor middleman.
Right. Yeah, I'm all for this, absolutely, yeah.
So I would just need your approval to get all of this paperwork around.
Yeah, before we do that, though, I'm not sure what's the policy with signing legal documents? Do we need legal to look at that first, Mayor? Or are you?
Go through the Board of Works, and that's where that's all taken care of. You can approve it, but you can't execute a contract without going through the Board of Works.
This isn't a contract. This is just allowing World Fuel, we would basically become a customer with World Fuel World Fuel would become a customer of us. So when one of their aircraft in their fleet fuels with us, they would bill us directly instead of paying with a credit card. So it's not actually a contract. It's just setting up an auto payment program with a company that we've already got a signed contract with.
Yeah, I'd run that by the city attorney. to
Okay.
see. I mean, it's not a big deal taking it to Board of Works, but that answers your question. If there's contractual details or payment terms that have changed, certainly the Board of Works is that's who approves those things, if it's impactful. And I would just ask that you check with the attorney to make sure that it doesn't need to go to Board of Works.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it does, but if there's
I'll
a
call
change in payment terms, I would at least run it by him.
I will call Scott tomorrow morning.
And I'd probably check with Lynn as well,
Okay.
clerk treasurer. Yep.
Okay.
Good question.
I
Mary,
think we can go ahead and though do a motion to accept
Sure.
it,
Pending everything.
pending on
on
approval to the
the
proper.
approval of
Yeah.
council, yeah. Mary, have you run into this before? Have you experienced this at other airports?
I have not. Actually, one of the airports that used to be with World Fuel just recently moved to, I think it was Shell, but I haven't come across this.
Okay. Okay, I make a motion pending the council's approval or disapproval, and
Okay.
we approve it.
Board of Works.
Board of Works.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Moved.
And the last thing that I have under new business, I did not put it on the agenda because we weren't sure until today what the answer was. But it is January, we do need to elect officers. Since Jay is not present at the meeting and he is still out sick, it is up to the board to either keep the positions as they are and choose to change the positions and elect new officers into place. But we do need to have that ratified at tonight's meeting. Currently, John is the vice president, Jean is the secretary, and Dan is a member, Jay is the president. So if you choose to, you may keep positions as they are, or you can change those positions around. That is entirely up to the members of the board.
I make a motion, we just keep our present people as they are.
Okay?
Jay is president, vice president, and I'll be secretary.
Is everybody okay with that?
Dan?
I have a question first.
Okay?
Does the mayor have an opinion on this?
No, I think it's smart. If something needs to change, it can be done down the road, but I think it's important at your organizational meeting to get that done.
Then I second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Been moved and seconded that we keep all officers as they stand today. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
And that is all I have for the board.
Okay, does the board have anything for anybody?
No.
Okay, then we will call this meeting adjourned, and the next meeting, I believe, is February the 9th. Is that-
I think that sounds correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Mary.
Bye, Mary, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. All right.